Hey, Steve Zook here. Welcome back to Poke's channel on the Guitar Ladder System. Hey, I did a video yesterday that I was really happy with because it's really difficult to explain how to evolve as a guitar player, and it's very difficult to explain how my Guitar Ladder System works because I combine the properties of the left brain with the right brain and learning how to seed the subconscious mind. But I discussed the 10 different systems of improvisation yesterday, and how and kind of the theme of this video is, spend an hour a day exploring improvisation and trying these different tools, and then also every day just take a couple minutes and just improvise and see where you can go, but don't be so results oriented, just explore. And that sends a message to your subconscious mind to kind of piece things together. But I talked about 10 different systems of improvisation yesterday. One of them, which I think I did not include, was contrary motion, which just means, the treble goes up and the bass goes down, or the other way around. A good example would be like this, using a bichord. And then I move that to a different location. If you look at that, see that the bass is going down, and then the bass goes down while the treble goes up. So it's kind of an interesting, it makes a really beautiful melodic, engaging kind of, magnetic pull to tone to music. Hear that? Now what I'm doing here, this chord is actually a minor 7 and a major 9 at the same time. It's a beautiful chord. You need to use your thumb to get those two notes. From there I'm going to this major 13 flat 5, and so that has some real nice color if you look at those two things together, and then move it to some other location. Now I could continue that. See, here I'm doing the bichord, the major 13 flat 5, keep doing that contrary motion to a major 7. But I just wanted to include that. But this is going to be a lot shorter video than yesterday. And thank you, by the way, for all the compliments on the video yesterday. If you really want to take a quantum leap on your guitar, and this is not bullshit, and shave years off your progress and get a lot deeper understanding of playing guitar and music and composition, discovering your own unique musical point of view, even if it's just for yourself, the Guitar Ladder System combined with working the 10 different systems of improvisation will really do it. Like I said, you should spend at least an hour a day exploring and improvising and finding new ways to put chords together. And then that's what's interesting about the Guitar Ladder Systems, that if you kind of combine these two elements, like I mentioned yesterday about practicing the different 10 systems of improvisation when you improvise, and then, okay, I'll try this, I'll try intervallic, I'll try diatonic, I'll try a common tone idea. And then in the Guitar Ladder System, the studies incorporate these different ideas and they combine them together, and each study maybe combines different ones in a different way, so your subconscious mind begins to understand how to put this information together. That's why there's not a ton of explanations for each study that would actually get in the way, because we've already presented to your left brain the different ideas of diatonic, symmetry, intervallic, flat 5 sub, modal, diatonic, contrary motion, whatever. And then when you do the studies, smooth voice leading, common tone, when you do the studies, your own subconscious mind kind of begins to understand what's going on and different ways to connect these ideas. And that's why within my studies it's really best if you just do the study and don't try to analyze it. But I just wanted to add that one for today, which is the contrary motion. I may not be right at concert pitch. Here's my A, but that's one of the best examples of contrary motion I can think of. And you could kind of bring it back. And then again, you always want to explore and go somewhere else. And like I said yesterday, you don't want to marry or get stuck with one system of improvisation, because music really is kind of beyond definition. But yet, by defining different tools that we can use and practicing those tools, that will help to open up that. I used to talk to Alan Holsworth about this, open up what he called the subconscious release. You have to input good information. So this is going to be a short video today, but even simple things like here, like if I'm going major 13 flat 5 to major 13 flat 5 to major major 13th flat 5. You know, and you know that's just, you know, here C, you know, kind of a, you know, a 1-5 thing. So I'm going G, and there's no reason, you know, to overanalyze it really, but it's just, you know, it's kind of like going, you know, and just experiment, you know, like take chord, or I like to call chords colors, because every chord has a color. And when you start, like one very simple technique is just combining colors, like using this major 13 flat 5 to this, and the major 13 flat 5 doesn't have a flat 7 like a dominant 13 chord, right? But this is a really modern sounding chord, so it really sounds beautiful. And you can practice it like this, kind of move it around. Here I'm doing a G, and then a C, and then an F, and then, you know, here. And I don't want to go through and analyze the distance between every note and every chord root. You know, it's you can if you want to. But the main thing I wanted to emphasize today was spending, my wife and I do this all the time, we spend a lot of time every day in practice. I think, you know, 60-70% of your practice should be exploring and improvising and learning new ways to put chords together and create style and color, because then you're inputting information into your subconscious that it can then use to compose. So I know yesterday I mentioned like improvise 2 minutes a day. What I was really talking about was more, you know, the a free form improvisation, where when I'm talking about exploring ideas, I'm talking about sitting down and playing a chord, playing another chord, and then playing another, like, you know, and maybe if you get stuck, stop, like I said yesterday, and try chromatic, or, you know, go a flat 5 from the chords you're on. In other words, a little more of a stop and thinking type process, and trying different tools. And so if you really want to grow, and that's what's great about the Guitar Ladder system, you know, is it combines all these different improvisational tools into studies. And like I said, I don't get into a big long explanation of those studies, because that would kind of be counterproductive. We've already introduced to your mind these different ideas, and then the cycles, you just want to play them and experience them. And then, like I said, if you spend time during the day trying the 10 different systems of improvisation, you're inputting that's one way to connect. But the subconscious mind is so powerful, it's going to combine all that information. And like I said yesterday, great music doesn't stick to any one form of improvisation. Great music is really beyond definition, although you can define it and pick it apart. But you know, it's a gift from the universe, but you need to open up your musical ear and wake up your musical ear for it to come through you. So that's why the studies in the Guitar Ladder system, you know, learning about smooth voice leaning, learning about shading, that's cycle 1. Then you do cycle 1, yeah, the shading with the major 7 flat or major 13 flat 5. And then when you find something that works, kind of milk it, try it in different, and then always be trying, you know, different ideas. So I've really got learning guitar down to a science, and like I said, I've had private students that have just had results that were kind of seem supernatural. I know that sounds like bullshit, but it's not, because if you present if you present information to yourself in the right way, and we use the left brain for some organized practice, and we define things a little bit, you know, this is chromatic improvisation, you know, this is, you know, whatever, and then the cycles combine all these different elements, so you experience it, and then on a subconscious level your mind will begin to kind of piece things together, and you'll make some quantum leaps. It really works. But if you can't afford the Guitar Ladder system, at least, you know, at least work on the 10 different systems of improvisation. Maybe, you know, get a fake book, play the chord changes of a tune. Excuse me. And notice how even in a standard, it doesn't stick to diatonic harmony. It changes chords all the time, and you can stop and overanalyze that and say, oh, okay, now it's a key change to B flat, now it's a key change to this. Chords can change, you know. You don't want to marry a rule. You know, music is about breaking rules and learning to be creative. But anyway, so I just wanted to add that for today. You know, contrary motion is a really cool thing. Here's my A, this bichord. to the major 13 flat 5 to a major 13 is kind of a good example of that. See, it kind of creates a tension and a musicality. But like I said, if you really want to grow as a guitar player and wake up the composer within, you should spend 60-70% of your practice time every day exploring new ways to put chords together. You know, I mean, you can do single notes too, but the chordal work is going to be more beneficial because your mind processes the inner and outer workings of the voicings of the chord, and it just, you know, it's kind of like musical steroids. I know that term sounds cheesy, but it's kind of true. So you always want to be exploring new ways to put chords together and things that sound musical, like my cycle 8, which has a major 7 to a major 7 to a major 7 to a major 7 to a minor 7 flat 5, and then goes down to another major 7. The more you explore, you know, harmonic, you know, movement, tension, and resolution, the more you're going to grow as an artist. Like I said, my wife and I spend it, and I do this a lot. Right now I'm doing it a lot in a flamenco tuning where I make the G string an F sharp and the low E a D, because I just love, I got that from Carlos Montoya, the great flamenco player, but I also do that on normal tuning. I'm really into dad gad, but like I said, I just wanted to make that point that, you know, if you really want to grow, spend 60-70% of your day, of your practice time, you know, exploring new ways to create tension and resolution, new ways to put chords together, you know, learning how to be more musical, how to use chords in a new way. And if you can afford it, jump into the Guitar Ladder system, because that's going to combine all those elements. And then as you play the studies, you're going to start piecing together how to piece together ideas in a much better way. So anyway, again, here's my A. If you want to try this is such a beautiful chord, this that bi chord. To the major 13 flat 5, and then I go to a major 7, and then if I want to keep, so it's interesting. Okay folks, so I'm making this a short video. Always be exploring new ways to put chords together. Alright, take care. Let's all stay positive.